Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to wait, I don't like the mic here. Yes, now I think it's perfect. Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Everyday Gents. We're about to do the register. So I'm gonna call out your name and you need to say if you are present. Captain, present. Melissa,
Present.
Fallon,
Present.
fantastic. If you guys are present with us right now, show us that you're present by leaving a like on this video. Thank you for joining us once again. And we also want to thank you all for 300 plus subscribers on our YouTube channel. As you know, we're on the road to 500, so please share us with your friends, family, and let us reach 500 because this is a channel of excellence. Now, that being said, we are here in the humble abode of Fallon Le Fluer.
Le Fleur.
Right. Thank you for having us on the show. If you heard us talking about being present and everything, it's because that's Fallon's profession. Her profession is to be present as a parent, be present as a mother, be present in church, be present in the home, be present in the streets. I mean, in the, yeah. Just kidding. She's a teacher. She got her TEFL certificate, qualified TEFL certificate, which is a degree apparently.
I have a degree
Okay,
as well.
she has a degree in TEFL.
In teaching.
Oh, she has a degree in TEFL teaching. Now I'm playing around. She has a degree in teaching. She teaches in certain schools, right?
Mm.
Namely,
Fallon Primary.
Fallon Primary School. And now she's doing online teaching, like most of you are trying to look into. So this is the episode for you all. If you want to know more about that and if it even pays well, if it's even worth it, and why hasn't you been getting paid properly, she's going to tell you why and how to make that go up as well. Thank you for being on the show. I know that was a long ass intro. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for the invite.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and how are you?
Not too bad, man. Thank you very much. So for those people who don't know you, please would you look into the camera and tell them who you are.
Okay, so I'm Fallon Le Fleur. I've been teaching online for the past 7 years, and I've also helped a lot of people in Wentworth, also in Newlands as well, start up as online teachers. Before that, I was also doing some extra lessons in Newlands East to lots of kids as well. Teaching is my passion, and it's something I enjoy.
Why did you find teaching to be something that you would want to do?
Because it's something I love doing. I love acting silly. I love singing. I love dancing. It's my passion.
When you are doing, okay, I'm guessing you're referencing the online teaching now where you're going to be singing and dancing, because I don't remember a time when I was in school where my teacher was singing and dancing.
No, but the teachers today sing and dance. They even do TikTok.
In school?
Yes.
They do TikTok in school?
Yes.
Instead of teaching the children, no wonder why our grades have gone down to 33%. 33% pass rate.
No, I mean, think about it, guys. Today, especially in the school, you have to make your lessons more interactive. You also have to make it more attractive for the students as well. So Gen Z is into technology and trends. So in the classroom, we also use a lot of technology as well to grasp their attention.
How many years teaching experience do you have?
In total, about 9 years.
And we only taught primary, or what's it called, pre-pit?
Primary school.
What's the different ones? Pre-pit, what's the pre-pit?
Foundation phase.
Yes.
Foundation phase, then you have primary and high school.
Okay, so you've taught primary, not
Primary
foundation.
school.
Okay. How's that experience been for you? Do you prefer that, or would you look into going into teaching high school at some point?
For me, definitely primary school. I don't think high school.
Why?
No, high school is a bit scary. Yes, especially dealing with teenagers today it's a lot. We have a lot of also violence against teachers in high schools as well. Teachers are being threatened by students when you discipline them. So no.
And then how long is it now that you've been in online teaching? And what made you say, I want to do this online teaching? Were you just riding the wave? Because there's this big wave of girls, especially like, young girls now going, and it's not just colored girls, it's everyone going into this TEFL thing and doing online teaching. What made you do that? And when did you start doing that?
Well, I was before the wave. I started online teaching in 2016.
So you were the wave, and everybody just rolled it.
No, the wave came in with the time of COVID-19. So when we had that heavy lockdown, lots of people were obviously put off work. Lots of people were not working. They needed an income. So the next best thing was online teaching. So lots of people went into that because it was the quickest way to make money. And you're not getting paid in rands, you're getting paid in dollars or euros. So why
Or
not?
yen.
Or yen, yes. Why not?
Yeah. Does it pay?
It does. But in order to see a very good salary, you have to also work.
So what are some of the, because let me try and guess actually first, right? You can just fill me in or correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna assume the differences between I'm not gonna say government school, but South African school and online teaching is you don't get public holidays, right?
Correct.
There's no June holidays, December
No.
holidays. Where else is there holidays? September.
Easter as well, we don't get. Yeah,
Basically,
nothing.
you just work right through. You don't even get their holidays because when China's whatever's on holiday, you teaching people in England or you're teaching people in Australia or France, right? So you work every day, Monday to Sunday, 24 hours.
Correct. Well, the schools I work for are flexible schedules, so I make my own schedule. So, like, if I have no plans, then I work. But if I have plans, most of the time, Sunday afternoon, I try to make myself free and evening, but I work a Sunday morning.
Mm.
Mm.
So you get to choose not just the schedule, but also how long you
You
available
work.
for.
Correct. Correct.
So
So
I
it's
guess
very flexible.
so I guess it depends then. Um, if you say you need to make money, so if you it's like overtime. So if you like if you're working in a normal company, if your company from 9 to 5, but if you do from 5 to 8, you can get.
You can get a decent salary. You can make even something like 3,000 in one day.
Now
Depends on you.
that's interesting. But let me ask you this: You've got nine. How many years have you been doing the online teaching?
7 years.
7 years. So you did a normal teaching for 2 years, and then
Yeah,
you
correct.
said from 2016. Okay, cool. My math wasn't mathing. If you've been doing it for 7 years, this is a question, right? If you've been doing it for 7 years and I've been doing it for 3 months, does that matter? Like, because in a normal school here, if you're doing it for 7 years, obviously you can call a bigger salary than me who just came now out of college and doing it for 3 months. But in the online world, does that matter? Can I make the same as you if I'm doing it for 3 months versus who's doing it for 7 years? Or is there levels to this?
Well, to be honest with you, it's mostly got to do with your introduction video. Your introduction video is like your online CV. It gives them an idea of your speaking speed. It gives them an idea of your accent. It gives them an idea of your energy levels as well. So when you send your introduction video, they look at that. From there, you do an interview. Some schools, if they're happy with the first interview, they won't let you do like a mock lesson. But if they just want you to do a mock lesson as well, so you'll have the recruiter pretending to be the student and you have to show them your skills. So based on that is what your rate would be.
Okay. Is this for everybody? Males, females? Is it for everybody?
Most definitely. It depends. It's for everyone. I feel it's for everyone. I have lots of male friends that are online teachers as well. We're working for the same companies. They love it. They enjoy it. It's flexible.
Featuring the curtain also every now and then.
You can tuck it in there. I mean, you can tuck it in there and it won't blow again. So it's very flexible. The good thing about being an online teacher is you can work from anywhere. I can go to France, I can teach there. I can go to Germany, I can still teach. No matter where you are, you can do your job.
And so, how explain how it works? How does one become an online teacher? What's the process? Because, for example, if I want to go to Australia, I need to look at an embassy. I need to fill out some forms. I need to do a what this thing, a English competency assessment.
Yes.
Do all that. How does it work to be an online teacher? And is it different for different places? Like if you're gonna do it for Japan, it's different. If you're gonna do it for England or Europe, it's different, or is it just the same?
Depends on the country.
Mm.
Okay, so when I first started online teaching in 2016 until about 2018, they were not very strict about having a bachelor's degree. Lots of people were in the industry without even having matric because there's no way for them to validate if you have a matric or not. If you say there on your resume, I have a matric or I have a degree, that was it. So China and Japan now have a rule, including Korea. You must have your bachelor's degree. So you have to submit your certificate as well. And I think that's one of the reasons that pushed me to actually do my education degree was because, like I saw, okay, lots of companies are starting to ask for it. So obviously it's going to come into play in most online schools. And that's why I started doing it as well. You do have schools that are like in Dubai, Saudi, um, uh, places like Thailand, Vietnam. They don't really want a degree.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. And do you speak any of the languages from there?
Only basic stuff like hello, only the basic.
Teach us some of them.
So for Thai, when you say hello, it's Swadika. You do like this, Swadika.
Swadika.
Correct.
What's Thai now? Thailand.
Thailand. Correct.
Swadika.
So you say Swadika if you're a lady, but for guys, it's Swadi.
Swadi. Swari. That's my swari. So you my swari? Swari?
So you learn as you go along. Vietnamese, they say Xin Chào.
Xin chào.
Xin Chào is hello in Vietnamese. Chinese, Ni Hao, hello. Or in Chinese, what is your name? Ni Shao Shima Minsu.
Ni shao shima mensu? That's what she said.
I had to learn Ni Shao Shima Minsu. I had to learn in order to communicate with students that don't really know English.
Because that's what you teach, right?
Correct.
English.
I teach English.
So okay. So you teach English for primary school. Now, how do you keep?
Not only primary.
What else did you say you need to do primary school?
No. My degree is for primary, but I teach English to adults and kids. So I do business English, general English, tech English.
Did you watch Mind Your Language?
Yes.
You know that program?
Yeah.
Is it like that? If you had to describe how it is. So, like, how does it work? Do you get like so you on TV, and then you get a group of people that come to the class, they put you on the screen, and then you teach, or is it one person, one person?
So we use Zoom. For my school that's based in Europe, we use Zoom. We have about 6 students in the class. They all join in. We just talk.
This is
chat.
the adults one.
Adults, correct. We talk. Okay, I have had a few that don't understand English at all, so they just sit in the lesson and observe, basically.
And if somebody's late, they come 1,000 apologies, ma'am.
Well, no. You were watching too much Mind Your Language. But they do apologize. And then we also have a rule like after 10 minutes, you don't allow anyone in the class because then it also disrupts the flow.
So how do you know that you're doing a good job?
I think by my students. My students.
So there's no principle that, how can I say? School got a principle that What does a principal even do in a normal school? What does a principal do besides assembly? Guys, what does a principal do besides
The
assembly?
principal does discipline. He does the discipline in the school. He makes sure that the teachers are teaching the kids in the correct way.
Okay, yeah. So who makes sure that you're teaching the kids in the correct way or the people in the correct way?
Well, the company has. They have like a management.
Mhm.
So your lessons are recorded as well. So sometimes, like in case if a student complains, they can go back and watch it and see if what the student is saying is true.
Have you had that before?
No. Once, yes, once. A Vietnamese student, once. But he was, when they went back and checked, it was a lie.
Tell us about it.
Okay, so it was my first time having actually a situation like that. The student had, when I checked his previous background, most of his lessons he'd been absent for them, like about 20 lessons he'd been absent. So I was like, okay. In my head, I thought, okay, I'll be absent for this lesson as well. So I went into the lesson, waited for him. He came in, I greeted him. He greeted. Then we do like an introduction, like a icebreaker. I asked him, okay, where you from? Okay, Vietnam. What's it in Vietnam? Then I asked, like, what is your job? Are you learning English for work? What do you like to do in your free time? And then we build on that. Everything was fine. Okay, and then we started teaching the lesson. The lesson was, I think it was introducing yourself at work, and we do like a role play. So did the role play with him. He read, I read, everything was fine. When it came to answering the questions, I asked him to answer like a question on the role play. I think he didn't know how to answer. So he was like dead quiet. And then I'm like, okay, can you answer number one? Dead quiet, and then he just left the class.
All right.
So automatically with us now, we have like a tech support. I immediately reported to them to say, I'm not sure why the student left. If he had an issue with his IT connection or whatever, please check up on him. So they did check up on him, and he said I was not talking in the.
So then they went back and checked the
Yeah.
thing. So what happens? So okay. So let me ask you this. So in that, let's say you are not talking in the class. What?
So if it's my fault, I don't get paid for that lesson, and he'll get that ticket returned. So it was like a free for him.
So what does it mean? He doesn't pay for it.
He doesn't pay. I'll pay for it.
And what if they just don't pay for it?
Well, that's the thing we see with online. The students take a package. So they pay for the lessons in advance.
Oh, so you always secure to
Correct.
securing them.
But also in the online world, I'll say you need to be very careful. There are some dodgy companies, especially Chinese companies, that are now hiring teachers. The teachers start working, and then they just ghost them.
Hey, made in China, but I can never trust those.
They're very slippery.
There's a thing that's going around now where they're making Rolls Royce cars. Same like Rolls Royce, right? But obviously made in China now with a little bit of a Chinese engine or but sit. And Rolls Royce cannot sue them because the R is not R, it's I don't know. But it's the same, like Rolls Royce costs everything, and in the engine is got, like made in China.
The Chinese, they're very smart guys. They are very smart. Very smart. Like, even with our line of work, lots of teachers, okay, you want to go to China, teach full time in a school there, international school teaching English. It's a good opportunity. You can make about $2,000 to $3,000 per month. You have accommodation, they give you meals. I think the only thing you see to is dinner. They pay your lights, your water. It's good. But you must have a degree. But then you get some Chinese schools that want to hire people without a degree. So why must I hire you that has a degree and pay you that amount when I can get somebody else and I'm paying them 14,000 a month?
14,000 what?
In rand.
That's not a lot of money.
14,000, yes. So that's what they're doing.
Is that not a lot of money?
No.
Oh.
The going rate now to teach in a school in China is like between maybe 50 to 65,000 a month.
Really? Look at his face. Xing Chong, what are you saying?
Ni hao.
Ni hao. okay, I'm gonna start brushing up on my Chinese, yo. But now I think I'm black, too black, right?
No, why do you say that?
Because I once heard that, you know, in
They're
China,
racist?
no, not, okay, I won't say, okay, first of all, if there's any Chinese people that watch TikToks, ni hao. But I heard, like, since there's not many uh, black people there, they fascinated. So a lot of the time, instead of like getting to the lesson, they have you ever experienced that, like, where you come on the screen and you ask them, tell me more about you, and then they asking you about you and whatever, and then they're like very fascinated. They'll touch your hair, but obviously not going to touch your hair on the screen. Maybe you get some of them weirdos that touch the screen or whatever. You think they're trying to call you, but they're busy trying to feel your head through the screen. Who knows? You can tell us.
No,
But yeah.
it's not. Well, I've heard stories of racists, you know, like if you're too dark, they'll tell you you're black or stuff like that. But I'll tell you one experience I had. So I had a student. So she's like, teacher, where are you from? So I'm like, South Africa? Where in South Africa? I said, no, Durban. She's like, Durban? I said, yes. So she's like, teacher, can I ask a question? So I said, yes. How are you doing the lesson in the jungle?
Right.
So I was like, in the jungle? What jungle? Don't you stay in a jungle running around with animals?
You know why? Because in Lion King, in the jungle, the mighty. Wow.
That's the thing. So, like, a lot of them get very shocked. Like, when you show them, okay, this is where I live, they're like, oh.
No, but let me tell you. Yeah, I'm just answering your question, right? I'm making this about me. But I stayed in America, right, as well. And we got the same thing. I was wearing Nike shoes. They're like, oh, you got Nikes in Africa? Whatever. I'm like, yeah, I got these from there. But fast forward, I started getting to the point where you zoom out, and you're like, I'm telling every single person about this thing. And you zoom out, you're like, yo, there's about 1 billion people that live here. I didn't even leave a grain, like a dent in that thing. So we all just got to the point, like, yeah, we travel on an elephant's back, you know, lions and us are good bras. My cat's name is Simba. It came from a lion breed. And we end up just going with it. But I was watching TV there late in the night, like after 12 o'clock, watching television. And not they showed a lady carrying a baby on her back. You know, aunties at the normal tie the thing over here. I'm like, oh, where? And then she was carrying I think it was a bucket
On her head.
on her head, right? Walking. Then it says KwaZulu Natal. I'm like, okay. Then it says the name of this place in KwaZulu. I'm like, huh? I'm like, yo, I grew up in KwaZulu Natal my whole life. Even I don't know where this place is. And there's flies going around. And it's like a rural ass place, yeah, bro. I'm like, this is why they think like this. I'm like, I'm from South Africa. Even I don't know where's this place. And it's in KwaZulu Natal. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, that's what they show. It's just like us here. When we see places like Nigeria and Ethiopia and all, we see the bad places.
Yes.
But if you just go on YouTube now and you type in, you see so much beautiful places in Africa that you get fooled what the media teaches. So I don't blame them, to be honest. I said all that just to say I don't blame them, because ignorance is bliss. Yeah. But what is some of the worst experiences that you've had that you can share with us?
Teaching online.
Teaching online.
Ooh. I think the worst experience I had was a student showing me his penis on camera. Yes.
I'm definitely gonna bleep that part out. Did you see it coming?
No, he was flashing me, and for me,
did you see it coming?
No.
How do you not see that coming?
Because what was very disturbing? Okay, it was a 5-year-old. So for me, that was very disturbing. Correct. Very disturbing. He had his tablet, and you could see like the mother was just doing her own thing, and he was just all over the place in the room. And I think at that time he was finding a corner, and he next thing put the camera there.
What did you do?
And he was dancing and he's doing this with the tablets. And what am I supposed to do? There's nothing I can do.
You didn't tell his mother, like,
no, she was not there. But like when we have situations like that, we have to report it. So we report, okay, this student, this is what he did today, or he swore, he used a bad word, and then they follow it up with the parents.
So I want to know something, right? The little child, bless his soul, does that at the beginning of the lesson. Okay, so at the beginning of the lesson, your 50,000 rands on the line, yeah, now. He decides to flash himself. You like, then what do you do? Do you continue the lesson because mother not there, or do you what happens?
So you have to start like, distracting the child now. Like, sometimes children do things for attention. And if he sees that he's not getting the reaction out of you, I think maybe other teachers used to give him a reaction. I didn't give the reaction. Instead, I started talking to him, started singing nursery rhymes, and then he started singing. And then I think after a while, the mother was looking for him and she came there and she grabbed.
How she didn't know which room the child was in during the lesson?
I don't know.
So it's only the adults that go to a particular class, place all together, 6 of them or whatever, and the children. So when you say a class, is it an actual class or is it like on Zoom where you can have different people in their own house?
Correct.
Like that.
Correct.
Oh, so it's not like
it's a virtual class.
So it's not like mind your language then.
No.
Because when we think about mind your language now, where they all together in a class and then you just on a projector screen and they all talking to each
other. It's a virtual class.
Oh, everyone's at their own home.
Correct. So with adults, you do group classes and you also do individual classes as well.
But they both pay the same.
Correct.
And you prefer the children one over the adults?
I prefer the adults. Adults are good.
Okay, so in normal teaching, you prefer the primary school because you don't like in South African teaching, but online you prefer the adults. The
adults. No, but also kids. Like I don't have any issue with kids with online teaching. I think when I was working for a Chinese school, it was a bit of issues. Like in Chinese students are not very disciplined.
Is it?
Oh, and then like there were days I would go into a lesson. There's the mother there hitting the child is crying. And then now you have to try and be serious and try to teach a child that's sitting there and crying. It was a bit much.
Okay. What's the, because I'm shocked to hear you say that, right? What's the difference? I'm just going to ask, what's the difference, in your opinion, between discipline and manners?
Well, manners is your behavior. Whether you have polite behavior, that's manners. But like what I've noticed from going from Chinese school, going to a Thai school, Thai students are more disciplined. Like they're very, the word I would use is shy. They're very reserved. Like sometimes you'll go into the class, the child doesn't even have the camera on. And they're very well behaved. They want to learn English. They interact. They ask questions, But now with the Chinese, it was different. Those children did not want to learn. No.
Do you know this website called Omigo?
No.
I don't think it's a website. I think it's like a app where you go on there and so it's like, how do I say? It's not like Tinder, but let's imagine, but you got your video camera on your laptop and you see people like, oh, hi, it just shows you from Brazil or from Vietnam or whatever, you from South Africa, then you can speak like that, where you were teaching me ni hao, xing, and all these things. You can talk to each other and they teach you some of their language and all like that. You skip each other, next person, like that. Would you ever consider something like that if you feel that it can help improve your chances in terms of learning a different language to be able for you to communicate better? Or do you prefer the traditional route of going and Google Translate?
Well, I don't have to use Translate because my country, that my school in Europe, they offer languages as well. So as a teacher, we can also learn a new language. So like if I want to learn German, Portuguese, Spanish, any language, I can.
So when you do, oh, sorry, I'm not going all over the place, right? When you do the teaching thing, you registered to a school in Europe,
Online school, correct.
online school in Europe, right? And guys, this question is for you all that want to know, yeah, ladies, because I know there's some ladies that's getting it completely wrong, and they feel online teaching is a side job where you can make 15,000 max, right? Now
What?
you just told me about 50 to 60,000 rand, like it's supposed to be the thing on average, right? So I want to ask you this. So this is how it works. So you need to go some register to one of the schools in Europe.
So you register on their website,
Yeah.
like applying for the job. You apply, and if they're happy with your resume or your application, then you do like either on Skype or Zoom. You'll do an interview with them.
Where does the introduction video come in now? I just spoke about, because you said it depends on your introduction. Where does that come
So when you apply to online schools, you have to apply with your introduction video as well. So Melissa's seen mine. So it depends. Like I have two. You have one for adults, you have one for kids, depending on the school. If it's an adult school, then obviously you're just going to send the general video. But like if it's a kids school, there's lots of TPR that you need to use as well in the video. Lots of So TPR is like, hi, can you hear me? Stuff like that.
My friend Fluffy.
Correct. So you have to use all that. And also with flashcards as well. So you have to use flashcards, color flashcards, fruits, vegetables.
You buy it out of your own pocket.
Correct. So you have to buy your own stuff. With kids, there's lots of interaction you have to have with them.
Okay, continue. Sorry, she made you say what's TPR, but you're still explaining.
Correct. So for me, I think it's not so bad. Not really that bad, no. But I prefer my adults.
Okay, so you apply, you get I'm trying to get to somewhere now because
So you apply. Like,
yeah.
like, okay, somebody says to you, okay, Captain, this is the email for this manager position. Apply. So like that, you'll apply to the school, you'll send your resume, your copy of your TEFL, and you send your introduction video.
That's how you knew I was a manager.
I was just making an example. Oh, you are? He is a manager? Oh, damn, that's why I'm a teacher. So you apply, and when they look at your introduction video, from there they would say, okay, they're happy with your accent. What's nice about Durban people, we have a very clear, neutral accent. But unfortunately, we have, that colored overdewa. Yes, that we need to get rid of. So in order to do that, you need to just add a little bit of a twang to change the way you sound.
Can I ask you to take your hair and put it this side? Because it's only hitting the mic and I'm just thinking that maybe it's gonna, yeah.
So you have to change the way you sound just to have a clear accent, your pronunciation as well, your speaking speed. Like we speaking to each other, but with them you need to speak slower. They look at that as well. So from there, if they're happy with your introduction video, then they would do an interview with you one-on-one.
Okay, then you pass the interview and then
onboarding, which is their training. They'll show you their some schools have their own site that they use. So they'll show you how to use their website, where you can find the teaching material. They provide teaching material for you. You're just there to teach, check pronunciation, like also do some free talking with your students as well, help them to build sentences, stuff like that.
so then the last part, so all that's done, who gets the student?
Oh, the school, I'm just there to teach.
Okay, so they provide the student. Is it possible for you to become self-employed now. So you've built your network of these students. You tell a school, Lafka, you go, to these people and you become self-employed. Is that possible?
We call that going solo. And there is a group on Facebook for teachers that would like to go solo as well. It's not that easy. I'll tell you, most of them that did do it, it's kind of like a trust agreement that we have. Okay. I'm signing a contract with you as a company. I'm trusting that at the end of the month, you're going to pay me for my services. Okay. So the company is getting the students pay the company, and then the company pays me. Now, what teachers were doing in the past, let's cut out the middleman, and I'll tell the student, this is my email address, or give me your email address, and then I'll teach them privately, and they just pay me for a less rate.
Okay. Now, if you had to say, because when you're teaching online, right, is there a difference between, unfortunately for you, you've done teaching in South Africa, is there a difference between South African education, curriculums, English, and the English that you teach there?
Yes, big difference.
Just better.
So the English that we teach online is to equip them for conversational English. So we teach different situations like seasons. We teach them, okay, when you go to the cinema, what you say, when you go to the shopping mall. We do role plays like that, giving directions, asking for directions. So it's like to equip them for a real life situation.
So how do you, if you don't speak the language, I'm trying to formulate this, right? You can say a few things, but how do you teach someone English if you don't speak their language? So it's like, let me give you an example, right? So I'm the teacher today, and I'm going to be teaching you slang, right? So if you want to say, hi, how are you? You will say, what kind of say, how's it vying? You know what I mean? That's how. So now, how do you do that? So if you want to say, Xing Shong Kriwa in English, you will say, how do you do that?
So, okay, most students that come to you, they know basic English. In Asia, they taught English in schools. In Europe, they also taught English, but not mostly conversational English. So they get taught like grammar, tenses, stuff like that. So by the time they come to you, they already know how to say hello, how are you, what work they do. They already know to tell you about their hobbies, stuff like that.
Even the
So
kids.
the kids as well.
So it's
They have lots of international schools there that teach English in English. So the children learn in English.
And if you could change something, okay, before I ask that, as a mom, you have kids, right? How many kids do you have?
I have 3 boys.
You have 3 boys. Do you find yourself in teacher mode even with your kids, or is it easy to come out of that? Because you teach like any time of the day. It's not like you teach only from like in school time, from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Anytime. Do you find yourself in teacher mode with your kids as well?
No, not always. Only when they don't want to listen or do their homework, then yes. But other than that, no.
And have you found yourself helping them with homework and you're like, yo, why don't you do it like this? Online, especially with English, why you're still learning Shakespeare? What's the Hamlet,
Thank you. I do. Lots of things. Like you saw when you came, the YouTubers, they love video games, playing games all the time, and they're always watching tricks and how to do this on the game. And I'm like, instead of doing that, watch something about history or mathematics or geography.
I do that in school. You see? So you don't go out to teach more.
But
Fallon, their school is from 8 to 2, not all 24/7.
But there's something you need to understand. Gen Z are more visual learners. Not when somebody's standing in front of them and reading or, write this down. No, they're not going to really take it in that way. But if they watch a video on YouTube, they're going to remember it.
If you could open up a school, and you had a big budget, or we didn't have a budget, they told you got a blank check, open up a school, describe the school for me. What would your school teach? How would it teach? What tools would you use?
Hmm. Firstly, I would have a home economics back.
What's home economics again?
Thank you. Teaching you
How
how
did
to
Ella-
cook, teaching you how to clean, teaching you how to sew, how to knit. We'd also teach them how to change a tire as well.
Okay, so basically you have a woman's school.
No. For men as well. It's a basic need. We all need to know these things.
How to sew.
But if you got no woman in your undies,
Who's gonna sew for you?
wear holy undies to sew it up quick and fast.
The only sewing men do is sowing seed in the in the church and in the bedroom.
No, but I mean it's life skills. I think, in schools we need to teach that. This is how you do this, this is how you do that. Even like stuff like welding, basic stuff, or even anything like
Please
plumbing
don't
as
teach
well.
welding.
No, but I'm saying like
Permanent in
just
jobs,
small things
not
like
shuts.
like electrical stuff, or even like plumbing, anything, things that you need throughout your life.
So you'd have a business economics.
No,
economics.
life skills, definitely life skills
What tools would you use?
for children.
I don't know. Is it going to be a high school, primary school, all school?
I think we'll do away with books. I think tablets would be better than books. We need to save the trees as well. I think that's better that way, and not a lot of homework.
Would it be a Christian school? Would
Definitely.
it be
We need to bring religion back into the schools. Definitely.
religion or Christianity?
Christianity or even religion. Any religion.
Any religion.
Any religion, because, hey, it's scary out there. It's scary. I was just saying to Melissa and them that I was telling them that you actually get shocked when you see grade 6s that are lesbians, and you ask yourself, what happened? What bad experience do they have to already go on to the other side?
You know me. Do you believe that people are born like that?
Yes, I have a few friends that are.
So then it answers your question.
No, but then in this case, it's not like they were born with it. No, for me, I think it's more of a trend, because throughout the years, you were dating boys in the class, and then now in grade 6, you're dating a girl.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm still running out to the no shoes and
don't lie. Don't lie.
I'll
Somebody once told, we're going off topic, but anyway, right? We bring it back. How much time do we have?
Yeah.
Watch died. I can't even see the time.
The Liverpool clock. You can look at it. It's 8 minutes past 9.
Okay. So somebody once told me that he was born gay. But also, did you ever have like a girlfriend experience? Like he's like, yeah, when he was in primary school, that's what girls and whatever. Because in primary school, that's where you get teased the most. So he did it out of not being teased and everything, but inside he was always gay. So maybe, as you know, like maybe people are actually born like that, even the girls, but because most people that are around them, they don't want to be like, ridiculed or whatever. You know, like this guy now, his name is.
Oh, you have to bleep this out.
Why? Yeah, I'm not saying anything wrong. Okay, I'm not gonna cut this out because it brings me to my next question. It brings me to my next. I can't cut it out because if I cut it out, this question is just there
in the air.
Yeah, it's like how you just went from whatever to there. You know. Have you had an experience of teaching somebody like that, like a trans person? And what I don't know what's the name of this thing where they say don't call me him or whatever. I had that experience at work actually.
I've heard that, but no.
Oh no.
It's very common.
Yeah.
It's very common, especially with Thai students. Very common. You go into the lesson, you'll see, okay, this was a guy. Like, you can see there's certain features you can see. And also by the way they carry on, they're very girly, but they're very pretty for girls. Very, they put some of our girls to shame. Nails on point, eyelashes on point, everything. But they don't, their name, they'll tell you their name. They give you a girl's name. They don't talk about whether him or her. No. My name is so and so, and I just address them by that name. And I know. And they're not shy to say, oh, this is my husband.
So we'll wrap it up, but I just got so many questions, right? So
Ask your question.
you said you bring religion into the school. You need
The
to bring
schools,
religion
yes.
back, right? Now, there is a tug of war that's going on between what we're talking about now, which is this LGBTQ plus dash minus and all,
Yeah, sometimes you gotta lie.
and religion, right? Because it's like we're supposed to accept that, right? But in religion, it
We're not
tells you,
supposed to.
yeah. So how do you do that? So you bring religion back, but cut out the sport here, accept the sport
You
here,
know what?
tweak the sport here.
I always say, accept the person for who they are. And, like, as you're saying, a person like you had somebody that said they were born that way. You can see it from the time they're small. You can see their mannerisms, their behavior. You can see it from the time they're small. And I think even as a parent, I would have to accept it if my child is to come and tell me, Mom, I'm gay. God forbid. But I'm saying I'd have to accept it. I can't throw my child away because at the end of the day, it's my child. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's just a phase, or maybe they feel that's where they're going to be happy. I have to accept it. But in the same way, I would also love my child to be aware of religion, also go to the church, not be like an outcast because they chose to do this or they chose to do that. I think that's where we fail as Christians, because it's not our place to judge. God is the only judge. So that's where we fail. Because I think when people have certain situations, as Christians, we're supposed to be there to comfort them. We're supposed to love them more, not make them feel like an outcast or a black sheep. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
100%. On that note, because I got so many questions, but I'll ask the questions of air, right? Thank you so much for having us. Almost said on the show. Thank you so much for having us in your home. Thank you so much for being on the show. I feel like it was very informative. Last closing question. I have a friend, I have somebody that's watching. Somebody that's watching has a friend or family member that wants to get into online teaching, but has heard you don't make a lot of money. What advice do you give them to be successful and to make 30,000 Rand plus? What are, besides the steps that you said, go register at the school? Because I first asked you, is it for everyone? But personally, I don't believe it's for everyone.
You have to have patience.
Yes, there's not everything is for everyone. Well, how do you say that? Everything is not for everyone.
For everyone, yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything has its people that you need, that thing. So what advice do you have for somebody who really wants to get into online teaching?
I think when it comes to online teaching, you have to also do a lot of background checks. We have Google the school, see the reviews about the school. When you see the reviews, it also gives you the rate of what the school pays. So if you apply, sometimes, especially with some schools, they don't want to offer you the most. But if you already know what their rate is per hour, you can already say, okay, this is how much I want, and see if they're willing to negotiate. If not, then you have to move on. There's lots of schools, online schools, but I would also say because of load shedding, a lot of them now are trying to exploit South African teachers. Unfortunately, that's our downfall, load shedding. Put a very dampen on online teaching. But I would say for a good school, you can make maybe about $12 an hour.
See, now I got more questions.
Euros, 13 to 14 euros an hour.
That's what, 12,000?
That's how much I make.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what you said because I was thinking about a question. I thought
No,
you
no,
said
per
they
hour.
can make.
You can, okay, roughly you can make between 40 to 50.
Oh, I thought you said, okay.
But the more hours you work, the more money you make.
I know that was the last question, but I have a question, right? You earlier said that it's flexible hours, right?
Mm.
So can't you plan around load shedding? Because you know when load shedding going to happen. So you can say, okay, every Tuesday, it's flexible hours, right? So you can just not do it for 2 hours and then go back. How do they exploit that?
You can, but you must know that if you want more bookings, you have to put your schedule for a week in advance. So students book like a week in advance. So if now, okay, tomorrow's load shedding, by the time I look at my schedule, it's too late for me to remove those slots. So I would advise, don't mention load shedding. It should never ever be mentioned. It's just an excuse. For Wi-Fi routers, we have UPS. For your laptop, we have a UPS. So there's ways to overcome that as well.
Okay. Ladies, you heard that. Gentlemen, you heard that too. Tell your wives, tell your aunties, tell everybody, and yourself, apparently, as well. Okay, I'm still interested in doing my magic mic, but anyway, I'm working on it. Right. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, if you enjoyed the episode, why are you pressing stop? I'm still talking. Can you not put your finger there? Because now I don't know, like you're just gonna cut me off or what? If you enjoyed the episode, please make sure that you subscribe and like and share with your friends as well so we can reach 500 subscribers. But until the next one, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, joy, like a river, mountain, fountain. This is the most appropriate episode for that peace, love, joy, like a river, mountain, fountain.
I can see he's going to be an online teacher. Look at all the actions. Gee.